Welcome to another episode of Inside Stuff with me, Martins Oloja. This week we are going to talk on our own celebration at The Guardian and launch of a book on federalism titled, that is, The Guardian Federalist Papers. I'm a professor of political science and the Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Ehusa Osagai, who has done so much on federalism, was the reviewer of the book, and he delivered a keynote on federalism. We gave him some conundrum because our own title, If Federalism is the Answer, What is the Question? And he did a good job, which surprised everybody because he wrote a paper, but he never looked at the paper for even a minute. And what he said convinced everybody that there are professors and there are professors. And in the book itself, I was one of the three writers. I wrote the introduction to the book, and that is what I want to deconstruct this week. We set out to write a few articles, but we ended up between 2021 and 2022, we wrote these 61 articles, a serial as editorial. It has never been done in this country that a newspaper would set out to write 61 editorials on an issue. It's wonderful, but it goes to show that federalism really matters. What is this federalism? We borrowed the brilliance of the Three Musketeers between 1787 and 1788. That's James Madison, the fourth president of the United States, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay. The Three Musketeers worked on the Federalist Papers, which was ratified in their constitution. And they worked on a very strong central government with federating units in the United States that is still working till today. We lost federalism effectively here in 1966 to the soldiers of fortune when they struck down the regional government that we had at that time through a unification decree. And since that time, we have not had access to federalism. The democracy has been weakened in this place by a unitary system of government. And the conclusion of that book, that the military should not have interfered in the governance of this country. But that's not the issue now. The issue is restoration of federalism, that will enable states to just take care of their destiny, to use their resources, to even write their own constitution, and to have different levels, just as we had before 1966. It may not be clear to young people that even the National Television Authority, this Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, actually evolved from a regional television set up by the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He is set up as a regional leader, as premier of Western region, set up the first television station in Africa, the whole of Africa, as a regional government, not the federal government. He did it, and he also set up the first stadium in Africa, this Liberty Stadium in Ibadan. But the federal government just took over television stations in the country at the time, and then they found everything that was good about Western Nigerian television. And in 1977, they seized it, and even seized the general manager then, Engineer Vincent Ifeanyi Chukwu Maduka. He was general manager of the Western television station. And they seized it. It had become Nigerian Television Authority. They began with that one as NTA Ibadan. They seized the infrastructure. And then the general manager became Director General, first Director General of Nigerian Television Authority. We don't have anything to do with that. They also went ahead and seized even secondary schools. They seized free universities. They seized the one of Ife, which was also set up by a regional government. It was an act of parliament that set up the University of Ife. And they also seized University of Nigeria, Nsukka. They seized Ahmadu Bello University, too. These were regional universities. At the time they were set up, but the federal government seized them. They became federal institutions. Quite unlike the universities of Lagos, universities of Benin, and University of Ibadan, which was set up in 1948. Those ones were set up by the federal government. But the one we are talking about, this was when federalism worked. So we have been advocating a return to federalism. This is the essence of the book that the Guardian pioneered. Federalism is the answer. Yeah, we said so. We were not unmindful of the fact that there were some regions when federalism could not work, like Yugoslavia, that was always disruptive, and it was actually disrupted. But in our case here, we are not actually looking for a new deal. We are just talking about a restoration of federalism that we lost so soldiers of fortune in 1966 through a unification decree we have not been able to get out of. What are we talking about? If you look at history, you will see that the Western regional government at that time, by the same Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Action Group, actually sent Agent General to the United Kingdom as their own ambassador before the federal government. And one a prominent lawyer, M.E.R. Okorodudu, was the first agent general that the Western regional government sent to the United Kingdom. You can see that it's a paradox of development that even the residents that the Western region purchased for the agent general is still the official residence of Nigeria's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. But they seized it. They seized the infrastructure from the Western region because we now had a federal government that was sending their own agent, their own High Commissioner. After independence, were sending High Commissioner to Commonwealth countries. So what we are saying is that it once worked. And you see that a regional government could set up a great university like Ife. Even the late Nnamdi Azikiwe set up an American model. The University of Ife was set up for agriculture, tropical agriculture and tropical medicine for Western Nigeria, not for the whole country. It was supposed to be a model for Africa anyway. It doesn't have to be federal before it can be good. It can be good enough to serve even a continent. State universities, regional universities, they seized them. They seized the television station that was supposed to showcase pioneering advantage here and there. So what we are asking is a return to federalism. We are not asking return of this infrastructure, but there should be a constitutional review to grant autonomy to different states of the federation so that they can just shape their destiny on their own. They can deal with some issues like that without having to talk about, federal government, we are going to Abuja. Abuja is handing out something. Abuja is handling all the federal roads. Abuja is handling schools. Abuja is handling even some schools. Abuja is handling this. Abuja is handling that. It's hampering development. The Inspector General of Police will give order to 36 state commissioners and AIGs that are in different zones. It's not good. It's not helping even security management. There are so many issues like that are too central to be efficient. And this is exactly what we at the Guardian have been advocating, and we're still writing on it, and we'll continue to pursue this until something happens. If you have your view on this, you can send to the comment section of Inside Stuff with Martins Oloja. Until we meet again. Bye.